G'day, welcome to the ChrissieCast, live from the compound. Now let's see what this saucy little wheel has in store for us today. Oh, yum. Yes, it has landed on the Foodies, one of my very clear interest areas. And how thrilling this is, because we have one of Australia's greatest foodies of all time, and she's been perfectly slow cooked at 120 degrees for 7 hours. Karen Martini is a celebrated chef, restaurateur and author who started her journey to our very grateful taste buds at just 15 years old. Can you believe it? I was still working at Baker's Delight and wagging school at that age. You've loved her on Better Homes and Gardens. You've bought all her books. And if you're very lucky, you've eaten her tarama and warm salty bagels at Hero. Welcome to the ChrissieCast, Karen Martini.
Oh, what an introduction. Thank you, Chrissy. Thanks for having me.
I'm so thrilled to meet you. We have so much to discuss. Let's spin the wheel again and see what we're going to talk about first. Oh, it's Child's Play. Fantastic. Here is a photograph of you as a kid. Cute, by the way.
Thank you.
And still cute. Who was this person, and how is she the same as you or different to you now?
Well, the picture might look cute. At 15, I was definitely pushing the boundaries and a bit of a rebel, I suppose, but not necessarily wagging school, but always late. But I didn't necessarily not like school, love school, but I decided to leave early because I found my passion, what I thought was my passion, and believe it or not, it became my passion, cooking.
That is extraordinary to me.
It is extraordinary because how do you do that at such a young age?
How?
I've got 2 teen daughters now, and there is no way on earth they'll be leaving school at 15, 16 or even remotely even thinking about it. So
it shows such agency and ownership of your life.
I was my parents would probably say stubborn, but I was driven, focused. I was in love with the idea that cooking could actually be an amazing career. Back then it was a gourmet chef, which, makes my skin crawl, the words. But back then that was the thing. You did an apprenticeship and you learnt to cook, and by all means, boy, did I do that. And I must say, though, my parents, so I did leave at the end of year 10. My parents re-enrolled me.
And we both have children at that exact point.
Wow.
Leo has just finished year 10. Your youngest has just finished year 10. Do you look at her and go,
no way?
What?
Yeah, I do. And I think Amber has mentioned to me, because Stella and Amber have just worked out that really I left school at that age and have done so much since, but how could you, Mum? What were you thinking? And
what were your parents thinking? Did they raise you?
My parents
did they raise you with that kind of
open mind?
And you are your own person. Obviously, you can make your own decisions, and we trust you.
I was eldest of 3 daughters. I was very independent, very focused, and I just set it in my head that I was going to start an apprenticeship.
Did you have to sell it to them?
Yes. But you know what? They believed it to a certain extent, encouraged me, indulged me, if you like. But they re-enrolled me in year 11 thinking she'll get sick of this working thing. Yeah. They paid the fees. Like I was going back into school as far as they was concerned silently. They didn't tell me that. But you know what? I haven't turned back.
You have not. So let's go back to you're 15. You finished year 10. You've said, yeah, where I want to go, I want to start now. I want to get cracking, and I'm going to get an apprenticeship. Where did you start, and what did that look like?
Well, the reality of that was I did a work experience in a 3-hat restaurant called Mietta's with Melbourne's finest import chef Jacques Raymond, and I wanted an apprenticeship from Mietta O'Donnell then, bless her soul.
Yes.
Influence in the Melbourne hospitality scene.
Did you?
And she said, go back to school, little girl.
Really?
You are not getting an apprenticeship here. And I went promptly, well, I will get an apprenticeship somewhere else. Anyway, I got an apprenticeship at the Austin Hospital. It's a little bit of a step down from a 3-hat, symphony of delicious food cooked at a very high French level. I'm talking Austin Hospital back then in the late 80s.
You would have got good at jelly.
jelly. I got good at peeling eggs. I got good at reading patients' recipe cards on a conveyor belt doing mash or peas. Look,
Wow.
it wasn't fancy and it wasn't romantic, but I had my eye on the prize. Went to William Angliss Trade School. I did 3 years of apprenticeship, or the proper 4-year apprenticeship, but did manage to tic-tac my way into a 3-hat restaurant, Tansy's, in Carlton, which was an amazing restaurant.
Did you tee all this up yourself, like
No,
including the
yep.
chats with Mietta and
Yep, I got interviews. I
more
forced my
front
way
than
in.
Maya?
I wrote letters, no emails back then. You know,
No.
I had to deliver and present. I was more front than Maya's. I think my mother actually used that.
Yes.
But you know what she said to me? You know what? The world is your oyster. You go out and find it, girl, if you think you can. So hats off to my parents for that encouragement. But you know what? They always said you can go back. Like, it's no problem. If you have to do a U-turn, no problem at all.
Go live.
Yeah.
See if you can.
And I did work, you know, I was 17 working 50 to 60-hour weeks. But I was hungry for the knowledge of cookery.
What did you learn in the first years of your restaurant apprenticeship?
We used to get hares, like whole hare in... that's a big wild rabbit.
It's a big rabbit. Hare.
We got eels in. We got pheasants in.
They would arrive furry and dead?
Yes, we'd be plucking and skinning and boning and hanging, and it was pretty gruesome sort of to talk about it like that. But that was a skill set that you just don't learn anywhere else but a 3-hat restaurant using product like that.
And you probably don't learn it now. Like
it's a very hard thing to get that experience these days.
Because things arrive
cleaned,
done.
plucked, thank God. Plucking's not my fun. Just imagine there's,
God, it sounds like something from the Middle Ages.
Really, I was just on a Laminex and stainless steel bench out the back in a little restaurant in Carlton, dealing with all of those things with a prep list as long as your arm, boxes and boxes of broad beans to pod and artichokes to pull, and yabbies were my favourite because they used to come in live and we had to disembowel them live and then cook them.
Do you still cook
play
yabbies?
Yeah, that's still the method of cooking yabby. Yabbies are delicious, sweet.
I don't think I've ever had a yabby.
Yabby. They're in every country dam, pretty much. You can go yabbying if you want
Don't
this
they
summer.
taste like mud? I don't like things that taste like mud.
That's a fair call. I suppose they're like a sweet prawn with an undertone of earthiness would be the way I describe it.
Were there any moments in those teen years when you were doing what no other teenager was doing that you went, I don't know if I've done the right thing here? Like, what were your friends like?
My friends were still at school, but guess who had the money?
Yeah. I mean, even an apprenticeship, which is famous for not having any money, is more than a Saturday shift at Baker's Delight. Yeah.
Baker's Delight. By the way, my first ever job was at Mrs. Fields Cookies, and I got the sack from eating the cookies. Anyway.
How good. What was your favourite? My favourite.
Chip something with peanuts.
It was a semi-sweet that was my
Salty.
favourite. Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
But that was my first job ever. But that was when I was pretty young, 14 or something.
Was it at a big shopping centre, Chatty or something?
Greensboro.
Yeah. Greensboro Plaza.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. With the see-through lifts that went up. And
Yes. Oh, my God, so fancy.
so I had some cash and we'd be doing a fair bit of clubbing back then, maybe a little bit underage, by 17, 18, and hanging out. And then I'd go home first because I have to be at work in the morning. So it needed a certain level of discipline to be focused on your day's work, which could be boning hares and making terrines and ice cream and puff pastry and panna cottas and all those sorts of things.
And how long did this last, this 50 to 60 hours a week?
I'd say, Chrissy, the best part of 23 years of my life or more. And like 60 hours was a standard week. You do 12-hour days. So I know it's a different life.
It takes a certain person.
It does. It takes a certain mindset and a certain person, and you're relatively tough. It's a hot, pointy, sharp, enclosed environment, but the thrill of service And the possibility of all this raw produce being turned into something magnificent on the plate, not only looking magnificent, but the flavours. The path to flavour was what I was desperate for, and that is the knowledge and technique. So there were points in my career where I was like, gee, I've worked so many careers over and over if you look at the time gauge. But that's where I honed my skills.
What was food like in your house in the first 15 years?
Well, let's just say I'm very familiar with, the sound of burnt toast being scraped in the morning.
I love burnt toast. I think it's because I got used to it.
No, but toast needs to be cooked. Like, you don't want it fucking undercooked.
No, you can say whatever you want, Karen Martini. I don't mind it burnt, and I find the burnt bits and I put butter on those.
Burnt bits, because that's a charriness that adds flavour. Burnt bits of flavour.
Yeah.
It's sort of like I've got a glazed ham coming soon. It's like, don't ever undercook your baked ham. It needs to almost be going dark and crispy, burnt on the edges to be done. Yeah.
Almost saponified, which is a word I used which I learnt last week. It's kind of deconstructed to the point of soap. I like my lamb shoulders to be almost saponified.
Yes, that'd be
beef cheeks
falling off the bone. It's a funny process, I suppose, if you go back through my childhood food. Schnitzels, pepperonata, burnt chops, 3/4 chops off the barbie, coleslaw, heavily dressed, lots
with
of
praise,
pecorino cheese and fennel and green olives woven in there. I was the kid that had the lunchbox that stunk.
Yeah,
I had the salami and hand cut sandwiches, Vienna loaf, fat. Now, yum. Back then, no friends.
No, you just wanted Vegemite.
Yeah. Vegemite. I didn't ever hanker for jam or hundreds and thousands. That was too sweet for me. Always been a savoury too.
Me too.
So if I hit a party, I'll always be at the chip and dip or the cheeses rather than the cupcakes. I love a cupcake. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, salty, savoury is my way.
I agree. Do you find that because you have more knowledge about food than almost anyone else in this country, people are reticent to cook for you?
Yeah, definitely. My husband Michael and I, we run restaurants. It's our business. We are hospitality through and through and live and breathe it. We rarely get an invitation to dinner. Right through from the wine being served to the, I am just happy with the most simple chop off the barbie or a bowl of bolognese. Like, I'm not, it's about the company.
People can't believe that, I'm sure.
It's about, no, they never do. It's about the company and just the act of coming together at a table and sharing a meal. But they never believe a roast chicken. I don't care. But
God, I love roast chicken.
I have very close friends that do cook for me, but not many.
When you are at home, it's a Sunday night, you've been working 2,000 hours and you go, oh, shit, I haven't eaten since breakfast. I'm starving. It's 6:30. What do you whip up? What would it be?
There's this quintessential phone call I normally get at 4 in the afternoon or 4:30 from my husband Michael going, honey, do you want a hand with dinner? Can I organise something for dinner? Or can I can I help out? 'Cause every day. Yeah. It doesn't matter what day it is. Yeah. And sometimes I say, I'm thinking we're going to have, grilled chicken or, Thai marinated chicken on the barbie and blah, 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 or a mussel pasta. Can you go and pick up the mussel? He's like, oh, no, I don't want to help that much.
I'll help you eat it.
I'm just posing the question. So you think about dinner. I've worked it out.
Do you shop fresh every day?
I must shop every couple of days. Look, Sunday was phenomenal for me because I ended up with so much in the fridge. I thought, well, I'm going to have to cook some of this stuff. I was a bit tired and I'm feeling a little off colour, but this is indulgent, so it's like feast or famine, my girls will say. Sometimes there's absolutely nothing and we're having the, Malaysian takeaway from around the corner, which happens every couple of weeks in our house.
I love a laksa. I mean, the king of soups.
Laksas.
Where is the best laksa, by the way?
Well, Mapo in Parade, IPO Parade in High Street, Armadale's just around the corner from where I am. But
I've never been there.
I don't eat in there. I always get takeaway, but the laksa is consistent. It's rich. It's a little spiky, and there's a gentle heat to it.
Have you had one
And
from
the chicken.
Shinjuku Ramen?
No, I haven't. I have to go there too.
You must. You must. What about those little puffy tofu pillows?
And they absorb all of the flavour of the soup. Yeah.
I mean, I have been known to suck it out and put it back in the soup.
That is a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not? Use it, that sponge spoon.
Yes. So back to
food.
Your
Sunday
go-to.
was a go-to is probably a pasta of some type, I have to say.
What's your favourite pasta?
Hard question.
I know. I had spaghetti last night and it is underrated.
But my favourite dish is the one that I don't have to cook at home so often, and that's what Michael made a spread last night from the pantry of tomato salad, and we had some tomates from a tin and some feta and some comte and pickles and boiled eggs and kipfler potatoes. But normal favourite pasta is a prawn pasta.
That's what I had last night on the spaghetti.
Yeah, I love prawn pasta. And I like to buy the heads on the prawns and then mash them in the pan, and then you put that in the oil with some garlic and fennel seeds and chili, and then add wine after you've fried it in the oil, and then add the pasta to that and smash the heads up and then take them out, and all the flavours there. Chrissy?
Oh, my God, that sounds so good.
Maybe a stain of tomato, but not too much.
No, not too much.
Tomato can dominate, then it becomes another pasta.
Sometimes if I just want a hint of tomato, I will use a little tiny bit of tomato paste. It's my big confession.
No, crazy.
I know.
Sometimes if I want a little hint of tomato, which I would use tomato paste if I was at that stage, or if I'm thinking about food earlier, because let's face it, I cook like it's the last meal I'm going to eat for the rest of my life. Every meal is the last meal I'm going to have because that's how I think about food. I can't help it.
Right. So when we're talking about you haven't eaten,
everything's
you're
the best
starving,
version of.
You never just go, oh, get this in.
Yes.
You'll still muster up some care.
A little bit of care. Like I'll go, if I've got, sometimes I have the Lebanese pita bread and I'll smash feta in it and oil and salt and pepper and maybe some za'atar or whatever I've got spiced.
Oh, my God, I'm
and
so hungry.
I roll that up and that's a snack on the go. I don't mind some packet tzatziki and a like a crisp rice cracker or something if I'm really got nothing going on. I don't know, the snacks, green olives and a martini, is that a snack?
Yes. I think that counts. Liquid lunch. I want to know.
Chunks of Reggiano, that's a snack.
It's so delicious.
Yeah, anchovies on toast with butter, cold butter. That's the best snack ever.
I had a memory from when I was a kid that I had the best piece of toast of my life, white, like tip-top butter. My gran made it. And then she'd made a mix of sardines and white onion.
Yum.
Queenslander. Anyway, I was like...
Pickled white onion or just straight raw?
Raw.
Yeah.
And it just came to me, you know, like those food memories do.
Yeah, Tabasco on that would be legendary.
Well, I made it and it
wasn't the same.
Gross. I needed her to do it, but she's no longer around. What is your favourite protein? You can only pick one, and it's one of my favourite questions.
Far out.
We'll give the selection for those listening at home and playing along. Beef, chicken. I'm going to say prawns, crustaceans. Fish is different. These are the categories.
Can I not put fish and crustaceans together and say favourite protein?
No.
Look, I love beef.
And eggs are also in the
I love eggs too. But I like all these things for different reasons, and I will cook them like they're the last dish I'm ever going to eat.
You can only choose one. I know it's hard. It's like Sophie's Choice, particularly for you. Someone says to you, you can only have
for the rest of my life.
for the rest of your
that's
life.
A different thing. Well, then I'd probably go fish because there's so many different types that I eat and enjoy.
That is a very practical and logical choice.
And most people don't eat enough variety when it comes to fish. They just
Fish is a problem.
Pink, or it's skinless and unidentifiable. But like flatties are great. Flathead's awesome.
But it's so
Blue eyes
expensive,
awesome.
Karen.
It is. But actually, you know what I find, if you get the opportunity to buy the whole fish and get them to fillet it down, it's cheaper than buying the fillets.
That is a great tip. So if I go to the fishmonger and say I'm going to have that whole, which fish am I getting?
It's snapper.
Snapper. I'm going to get that whole snapper, please. Can you fillet it?
That's it. Yeah. And then you'll find that it's a different price. It's generally
because I just find I've got three
price.
kids. I've got 3
it's hard
kids,
and they eat a lot.
They eat so much, and to get enough fish for a meal, you know, I'll get it. And
There's nothing left.
And I'm just like, that's not even going to fill them up.
Well, then that's where you have to actually cook a little bit more and have a lot more, whatever it might be, a seasoned couscous on the table with maybe you've got a couple of punnets of cherry tomatoes and you throw them in the oven in oil and smashed garlic with chili flakes, and then they come out and you've got your couscous and you toss that through, and that's on the table
and
with your fish.
Big bowl for
and
volume.
That's a big bowl. And then you get some cucumbers and chop them up and put heaps of lemon and
I reckon I could do a whole podcast on you on fish solutions, because
fish solutions.
I would love to eat more fish, but I just don't know what to do with it. And I think most Australians are the same.
And they would love, and we should.
We should. We're an island nation.
Yeah, I agree. It is very expensive, and that's why you need to be able to pair different things with it that complement in a way. Or the best way, I suppose, would be to get the fish, get the bones home I know. Go figure, but get the head of the snapper with the thing, throw it in a pot, cover it with cold water, and add some aromatics to it, like some lemongrass and lime leaves, and throw all that in, maybe a couple of tablespoons of laksa paste, or tom yum, and then bring that to the simmer, strain it off, and serve that with rice noodles and the fish broken up.
That's a great idea.
So then that goes a lot further and you've got the broth. But, that does take time and a little bit more focus.
Confidence. People would hear that and go, oh, my God, I can't do that. I can order something on Uber Eats. Yes, I'm capable of doing that.
Yeah, but we can't eat Uber Eats every day.
No.
It's not good for us.
No.
The amount of stuff. I mean, takeaways awesome for a reason, and it always tastes good for a reason, but there's a lot of stuff in it that you shouldn't be eating every day.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing, isn't it? I never do a roast chicken without, even if we pick the bones clean, that chicken carcass gets flipped into a pot on the back of the stove.
Yeah.
I cover it with cold water. I'm dead tired, whatever. I'm maybe watching something on TV for 40 minutes. That pot's come to the simmer. I may not have thrown anything else in. And I strain that liquid off, and it becomes the, base for a risotto, or it's a broth that I'm adding other things to the next day.
Do you have a deep freeze? It's changed my life.
I do have some space, but I must admit it's packed, jam-packed.
Mine too.
What have you got in your deep freeze that's key for quick meals?
Well, I bulk batch cook, because also I show you that I love you by giving you a dinner. So I've got, for my 50th, my request was, those Le Creuset, they're that big, the pot. So I'm holding out like I'm hugging it. It's massive. And I will fill that with spaghetti bolognese, for example. Make it. It cooks forever, and then I divvy it up. I put that in the freezer, and then you can. All my friends come over, and they're all like, "Oh, I'm so tired. I can't cook. I've got no idea." Yeah, and I can go, there you go.
Yeah.
But I've got all sorts of things in there. I'm mad for a spanakopita. Mad for it, because also I like that.
Love it.
I like that it's got no meat.
Yes.
I think occasionally we've really got to not eat meat all the time.
We don't have to eat meat all the time.
No.
I agree. I think. Spanakopita, I'm yet to try the one I've been seeing on Instagram a lot, where they chop up the phyllo through the mix. So you get the phyllo pastry, crack eggs, cook spinach, frozen spinach from the supermarket if you want. Yeah, handfuls of feta, cheese left in the fridge. Great, grate it up, throw it in. Probably not blue.
I don't like blue cheese.
And dill or spring onion or parsley, mint, dried mint in, mix it all together and pour it into a dish, and it's like making a frittata, but it's a frittata spanakopita.
And does it have the crust and the top as well?
The bits of pastry hanging out the top turn into crispy, delicious bits. So, yeah, that's on the list for this week at some stage. And there's the kids, I mean, they love big slices of that with yogurt or tzatziki on the side and maybe, again, salad of some type.
I knew this would happen when we got into the same room.
I have not eaten. I've had 2 coffees and a mango smoothie.
And you are
hungry.
Well, okay, I'm about to release you back into the wild, tag you and release you. What is the next thing that is going to pass your lips, Karen Martini?
Oh, okay. I've got in the fridge at home some of the leftover brothy type stuff. And
fish or chicken based?
It's chicken based,
yeah.
And I made it Asian flavour by Chinese flavour by adding sliced spring onion and ginger. I did this the other day on Sunday, and so this is, and I've added sugar and soy and balanced it all out. So that's in there. I'm just going to throw in some udon from the freezer. Udon noodles dropped in. I just don't have any of the 2-minute ramen noodles left at home, but they'll go in, and then probably there's some roast chicken in the fridge. I was going to say, I just rip off some chunks and throw that in, and maybe a little bit more spring onion or whatever. Yeah, that should do me till dinner. And what is dinner tonight? I'm out for dinner tonight.
What do you order when you're out?
Oh, I don't pre-order at a restaurant.
I do. I'm so terrible. I Google it.
I do not like it. You're taking the hospitality out of the hospitality.
All right, I'm going to stop doing that in honour of you, Karen Martini.
You can't just go, I already know I don't want to look at the menu. You're not letting the people do what they do for a living.
So true.
Don't crush their spirit, even if you know. But then when you look at it, you go, I don't feel like that now. I feel like this.
And also, I don't know why I do it, because often I order from the specials, which are never online.
So now I'm calling you out and I'm saying no more pre-ordering.
I will not do it.
Discover at the in situ is better.
Yes. I want to say, please enjoy that soup. Don't be alarmed if you turn around in your kitchen and I'm there waiting for my bowl.
That would be a bit fun at some stage.
And I want to officially thank you for the bagel and tarama of my dreams.
I wish I had that in my fridge now.
How did you come up with that idea, you crazy genius?
You know when you go to Greece and you see the wheels that you used to in Athens?
I've never been to Greece.
And the round bread that, forgive me.
Oh, the puffy soft ones?
No, it's like, and they call it sesame. So it's the Turkish do a version and the Greeks do a version. So it's inspired by that and the best tarama I could get my hands on. But there's this sweetness on the outside that's really important with the saltiness. Now I'm hungry. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen Martini. You're the best.